What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? It is Saturday afternoon, August. What is today? The 24th?
24th.
24th. We got another live Q&A mastermind with Caleb Bartlett and myself. So welcome everybody that is watching. We're just going to kind of switch it up a little bit here, kind of go off the script, but Caleb and I are just kind of going to be talking back and forth. And then how I did on the last one, if you want to do this, Caleb, is like I just kind of answered questions as they came in instead of like waiting to the end. I think that might be a little bit more interactive. So I don't know. We can maybe kind of wing it
Yeah,
for
maybe if you want
anybody.
to throw it in there,
Yeah,
just whenever it makes sense. Yeah.
cool. So how have
Yeah.
things been, man? I haven't talked to you in like a month, I think. Like
I know, dude. I'm like, Will, bro. Like, it's been good. It's been good. It's been hot for sure. I don't know if it's super hot in Europe. Um, is it? Is it
in
hot like
your
it is here?
in Europe.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was very hot. And once we got down to like Italy and Rome and everything, it got really hot, really hot. And we do apologize for everybody that is watching, right? Our regulars out there. We weren't able to do it on the second Saturday of the month because I was in Europe. So but I wanted to show you this map of like where we did or where we went on the trip. So I'm gonna pull it up. Can you see it?
Yeah. So did you create this, by the way?
So I did not. This was like our tour guide. He
Okay.
provided like kind of like so we went through Costco, and basically when you go through them, you can kind of like choose your travel package and like what countries you want to go to and stuff.
Hold on,
But
hold on, hold on. So you went through Costco?
yeah, it's like a company. It's called Cost Saver through Costco.
Mm.
Yeah, and they like schedule everything. So they had the bus travel set for us. They had the yeah, we just really had to get there, and then they had all the transportation like set up for us and everything, so that way we could enjoy our trip and not have to like navigate transportation and like where the best sites to see like in each country and stuff. They like kind of planned all that for us.
Cool. Yeah, you had a plan. So did you have to take like a train or like a car to get through these different countries and stuff?
No, so they had like a really big tour bus type thing or like a coach bus. So we started out in England, and then we did have to take like a ferry from Dover to, I think, Cali is the name, how it's pronounced. But then after that, it was pretty much coach bus all through these countries. But yeah, it was really cool. So like we probably stayed 1 maybe 2 days, depending on the different countries. But as you can see, like we hit England, France, Italy, Austria, Germany, and then the Netherlands. Um, Paris. So we were actually there during the Olympics. So they had the actual Olympic Games going on in the city. It was really cool. We took like a boat tour down the center, and like you could literally see all the grandstands because that's where the opening ceremony was down that canal. And it was really cool. When Larissa and I went up on the Eiffel Tower, um, you could actually see one of the events going on and hear people like cheering and stuff in the
Oh,
distance.
wow.
Yeah, it was cool.
That's sick, man. That's pretty cool. Yeah. Did you plan it to be there like during the Olympics?
No, it just happened to, yeah,
What a
and
coincidence.
yeah, and like because originally we were a little nervous. We're like, oh man, like is Paris and France going to be like jam packed with everybody there for the Olympics? But it wasn't bad. It wasn't bad, and the city was really nice, cleaned up. So it was really cool. So our favorite was Amsterdam up in the Netherlands. Really cool city. Like there's canals that run inside of the city and everything. Um, it there like everybody uses bikes there, so there's really not many cars. It's just like a bike city. It's really cool. And then our second was Paris, France, because some of the buildings out there are incredible, man. Like,
Yeah, because they're old. Everything is
yeah,
super old.
yeah. I should have put some photos on here to kind of show you guys, but
Yeah, dude, you should have. Well, let me ask you this. What was your least favorite place to go?
um So Larissa and I talked about this. We think it's Germany, which is weird because I feel like Germany is like a really cool place, but it might have been like the stops that we stopped at. So like, so we stopped in Munich, Germany, and then I think it was Cologne, maybe, or Rhineland. No, we stopped in Rhineland. Um, that was our least favorite. We didn't have a lot of time there, but yeah, those were kind of our least favorite. There's just like not as much stuff to do that in like versus like I don't know, Italy, Switzerland, France. There's a lot like bigger cities there, you know?
Right on, right on. So, what are like some like the biggest differences between the United States and America, would you say?
So their health insurance over there, like everybody has it. Like it's federally over there like supported. So like I mean we have medical stuff here, but like over there like everybody is opted like into it. You know what I mean? I'd say that's probably one of the biggest ones. In England they drive on the opposite side of the road. So, that was really weird. Like, when you're crossing the street, you literally have to look both ways because it's like it's everything's backwards. So, like, you'll look and be like, "Oh, like, it's clear," but then there'll be, like, a car coming and you're like, don't wanna get hit and stuff. Um, yeah, I don't know. Like, I think those are probably the two biggest ones. Yeah, it's really cool over there. Like, anybody who hasn't been to Europe have you been there over there at some point?
I've never been out of the country, so
Oh, okay, okay,
yeah,
yeah, it's an experience, it's an experience, it's really cool. I think everybody should do it at least once in their lifetime, because
for sure.
it's a different lifestyle, so really, really cool areas to go to. Um, yeah, I should have put some pictures up so I could have showed you.
Yeah, dude, you should have. I want to see that. I know I follow you guys on Facebook, so I'd seen like the one where you're on top of the it was this ride, the swing thing.
Oh, yeah, so that was in Amsterdam. So they had a
Mm.
on this skyscraper in Amsterdam, they had like I think it was maybe 30 floors up. They had a swing that you could literally swing on and you go over the edge. And it's crazy, dude. You're on top of a skyscraper swinging and over the
That's
city. And you can like the view's amazing. Um, yeah, it was so it was a 2.5 week trip. Um, and it was very like go 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 when you're in it, but you get to see so much of Europe, and I mean, you could see like we went all over. When we got down to Rome, that was really cool. So we saw the Colosseum and like ancient Rome on like where Caesar used to like rule and all that stuff. Like I don't know, it's just really cool culture and views too. Switzerland was cool with the views. It's a really like mountainy area. So
Mm. Cool, man. That's
yeah,
fun.
yeah.
And you said you were there for 2.5 weeks. It felt like it was longer.
Yeah, yeah. So 2.5 weeks. Um, yeah, yeah, pretty much 2.5 weeks for that. So
Sick.
yeah.
Sweet. Fun. I'm jealous. I want to go.
Yeah, it was cool, man. I highly recommend it. We use a company called Cost Saver. So it's in the name, like you save costs. I think to be honest, I think it was only like maybe 2 grand or like maybe 2,500 bucks for the trip. Now obviously like and that includes like the whole tour. You know what I mean? So it wasn't like horrible, but I mean, you obviously need to get an airfare out there. So the flight out there is like a 12-hour flight. And then obviously food and drinks when you're there, you got to pay for. So, but room and board, travel, all that stuff is included in like 2,500, I think, per person. So, something to maybe look down the road for or put on the goal board.
Europe.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be cool, man. So it's 2,500 bucks a person or
Yeah.
for both you and your wife?
No, per person.
I feel
Yeah.
like it's worth it.
Well, and so what's cool about it too is like you can customize it how you want. So like you don't have to do the 2.5 week tour, right? You could do 10 days if you want. Um, or you can do a week. and certain countries that you want to see. But yeah, yeah, it was fun. It was really fun. It was a
That's
good
fun.
getaway from the day to day. So, but
So, um, yeah, that's interesting. Cool. It did. I definitely felt like it was way longer than 2.5 weeks, but maybe I'm missing something. I don't know.
yeah, yeah, no,
Cool.
pretty much two and a half. So looks like we got some questions coming in. So let's maybe
Okay.
just we could switch over, get some questions knocked out, and then I wanted to ask you some things um, when we get into that. But let's go ahead and put some questions up on the board for some people that are watching. I'll let you can take this one away.
Maybe we could both answer this one. It's kind of doesn't specify who it's to, but do you only spray yards or do you cut grass too? We do both. I know Will does as well. Um, unless he changed something.
Yeah. So we actually we don't do any mow only accounts. All of our customers that we mow for are also on a weed control. So yeah, we spray a lot of lawns. Sam Gustin says, "Miss you guys, man. We miss
Miss you too,
you,
bro.
our celeb. When back in the day when we used to, the game beer pong or whatever, you'd have that celeb shot. That's Sam. Sam's our celeb coming in
Oh
once in a
yeah.
while to help answer questions." All right. So Easy's Lawn and Snow Service says, "What are the herbicides you use for weed control for lawns?" Um, I did a video on this. I don't remember the title, but it's one of my older videos. I literally break down the program that we use and all of the chemicals that we use. It's going to vary depending on your location, but geographical region. But we are like in the middle of the U.S. So if you're in the middle of the U.S., you could probably use that same program for what you need. But
Yeah, and you have a course on it as well.
I do, yeah. So I have a in-depth training course where it goes like way deeper into the weeds. So anybody that's looking to, um, start to perform that service or offer that service for the customers, that's huge. Like I've actually had quite a few people go through that. I think I've had about maybe 25 people go through it, but there's been a couple people that have reached out to me and was like, "Hey, like the value that you give in this course, because there's other bonus content too of like one-on-one conversations, but they're like the value that you give in this for like the $49 that it is, and literally all that is, just so everybody knows, I don't make any money on that. That just helps fund the channel because I have a video editor that I pay, and I pay him $100 per video. And I ain't making $100 on a video. Let's just be real on that. So that just helps keep the lights on for the media side of things, so I can, continue to bring you guys good content stuff that I'm literally not making any money on it. It's to fund the media side of things. So,
Mm,
but
definitely worth it.
yeah,
Good course.
to help to help spark a deep combo. All right, let's hear it, Sam. What do you got? That's all the questions for now. But what I wanted to ask you, Caleb. So you saw that video that Mike put out recently, right? That
Today or yesterday?
I think it was a day or two. It was like an hour long about like how to hire, retain, and uh, have keep good
Yeah.
content, or like not content employees, like retain employees.
Yeah, so I listened to it right as it had came out yesterday, and I listened to it twice today because I was like, dude, this is like the most like insightful, like step-by-step video I've ever listened to from Mike about hiring and training and um how to treat people and lead. It was fantastic. If you haven't listened to that video, I think it is his most recent video on his Mike Andy's channel. Uh very, very good video, in depth, again, on, like, leading, hiring, managing people. I learned a lot. I'm already, like, taking some of the things that I've learned from his video and implementing it right now. I know you sent me the peer review, something about a peer review today. Is that something that you're implementing in your business?
Yeah, so that's something that I went through. I think it was landscape business course and MBA, and I already knew I needed to do the peer review. I just like to me, I'm like, oh man, like when's the best time to do it? And so I'm actually going to do it on Monday. I actually put it's called Survey Monkey. So it's a free software that you can use um, to create that. And what's nice is like it actually posts it anonymously. So to be honest, I mean, I could probably dig into it deeper and try to find who actually sent the if there's like something that's really really bad that we need to address. But like when I looked at it, it does post anonymously. So I don't know who's submitting the comments, and I don't know.
Mm,
I just see like, hey, because I tested it and like one person submitted it. It doesn't say like Will Kelly submitted it. It's just like here's the IP address to the computer that
yeah.
sent it. I don't know, right? And so what's really cool about that though, like I think that'll help really, build a stronger team and see where that constructive feedback is, so
I think it's important. I think allowing your team to have a voice about their other team members, about you as the owner, about your office staff, everybody. I think it's very important people to have a voice because it's super hard for a normal team member at the bottom to go straight to their boss. You will, being the owner who is the owner of a 13 employee business, they're not going to want to go straight up to you and be like, "Hey, this part of your business sucks. Like it needs to improve." Like they don't want to do that. But being able to do it anonymously, I think is huge, and it helps with building a better and stronger culture focused on self-improvement and constant improvement. Um, I think that's pretty cool. I did it, back in June when I did a offsite meeting. The way that I did it, though, I wish I did it a little differently, but, I got everybody to do something similar to what you're saying with SurveyMonkey. I had them fill out this sheet anonymously, and we're all sitting at dinner. And this is like 2 hours into the dinner, and I start to go over the, peer reviews, and I just spoke it out to them like, "Hey, Gabe, you need to improve on this. Gabe, you're doing well at this," and just went down the list. I wish I just, like, handed them a sheet instead of, like, making it public, um, but yeah, it did actually help,
yeah.
that peer
And
review. It's pretty
and
cool.
what's cool about that though is like that was only one peer review out of like 100 that you'll probably do. So it's like the next one is going to be better, and you're going to be like, hey, maybe I don't do it publicly in front of everybody. You just hand them the sheet and be like, all right, guys, read through your comments and see you tomorrow. And then, a week later or whatever, you may want to do like, because like that's probably what we'll do is like do a one-on-one session with them, probably in a week, just to like, you know, check in with them, see if they need anything. Obviously, they just got their peer reviews, so that things in there we may come up and just talk about it like, "Hey, how was your peer review? What do you think, you took away from that?" Stuff like that that we could do like more
Mhm.
one-on-one stuff.
Yeah, I think it's definitely important to have a one-on-one afterwards to actually, like, create a plan on how to improve from the, criticism that they were given. Just help them to create a plan to become better at that. I think that'll set them up to succeed a little better.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So on that video that you watched, what do you think like out of I think there were 15 bullet points? What was
Yeah.
your biggest takeaway or like the biggest thing that you learned from it?
Um, there was a lot. There was one thing uh, there's not really one big thing that I took from it, but I liked the part where he talks about in interviews, the way that you sit is important, and I've never thought about that. Like, the littlest things are so important in interviews and speaking with people. Like, you remember he had his chair, like, kinda angled a certain way, and then the employee was kinda angled a certain way where it was open, and then it creates, like, an open dialogue where you're not, like, face to face with them and it's confrontational. I was like, "Dude, I woulda never thought about that." Like,
Yeah.
that's not, like, something, like, super crazy big that I learned from it. I probably learned something more I'm forgetting, but, um, that was one of like the little small things that I'm definitely going to take into doing my interviews. What about you? Let me ask you that.
So, and again, mine's small because like a lot of this stuff, like we normally already do. Obviously, the implementing the peer reviews and stuff like that. But one, I'm about halfway through it. I haven't finished it completely because I've been pretty busy. But um, one of the biggest things that I took away from so far halfway getting done is so we when you're trying to find people and like they apply and like you call them and it's like, okay, now you scheduled the interview, it's not done. And so you have to continually like text them and be like, hey, okay, we have you scheduled, you're 48 hours out from your interview, and then a day before the interview, like you text them and stuff like that. But which we already do. We already do all that, right? What stood out to me was continuing to sell your company. And so I have a sheet or a paper like in the office that says like build a career, not a job. And like it shows, okay, like when you just start out, this is what you can make, then this, and then this. Why not take that sheet and put it in the text as a picture document and send it to them? It's like because they're shopping around 10 other companies on like where they want to
Yeah.
work. And it's like, why do we not put that stuff in those texts? And I guarantee you the solid, hungry people that want a career, because like, dude, we mow lawns, right? Nobody grows up and says, I want to mow lawns when I'm older. It just is what it is. People look at this as a gateway to the next job. And how do we stop that? By showing them there's a career path here and acquiring that top talent. And that's part of it. And so that's something. And then also I need to do a day in the life of a military lawn cut so I can put it on. So I could add
That's
that,
cool.
like
Yeah.
what does it look like when you come and work here? Like morning,
Yeah.
midday,
Smart.
and so
Yeah. I agree. I think you should definitely treat your hiring process like a sales process almost. Because yes, you're trying to find people and you need people, but you also got to like sell them on you and your company. Treat it like you sell a customer, right? Like call them right as they apply, right? Like cuz you pick up the phone right away when the customer calls in, why don't you like call them in 10 minutes after they apply, right?
yeah, yeah, that's huge. That's very big.
Yeah, dude, it was a solid video. I mean, I feel like his videos have like gone from here to here with the information. It's like they're so good.
Yeah,
So in depth. Like I'm learning just a lot
yeah,
from
I
all his news
agree.
videos. He uploaded one today too. I don't know if you watched it.
I haven't, no. But
Yeah.
all right, looks like we got a couple more questions. Sam Gustin says, if you had to restart your business from scratch, what is the top thing you would change about your current business? Why would you change it? What kind of return would you see from changing it? All right, I've got something right out the gate of my brain. Unless do you have anything that you can think of?
I'll let you go first, but I'll say something after.
All right. If I had to restart the business from scratch, what is the top thing you would change about your current business? Okay, so off the top of my head, Sam, the number one thing I would say is to um fix the admin side of it. We were too top heavy on the admin side, and we still are. Like I still am not like it's a process of fixing it when you over leverage too much admin, too many people on the admin side. And it's so hard because like all of the people I have on the admin are rock stars. Like it's not an option to just fire them. Like that's not an option. They are a piece of a puzzle to get us to that 1 million, 2 million, 2 million, 3 million. So it's like I'm not getting rid of them. I mean, we could probably flex some hours a little bit, but we've been top heavy on the admin side for so long and it's so like stressful on the business. Also, part of that is like buying the shop. Um, to be honest, we don't really use it as much as we thought we needed to. And that's part of the admin side. Like we're so top heavy on that Um, but now I know. Now I know. So, and then what would you change from it? What kind of return would you see from changing it? Probably significantly more profit. Um, yeah, that's probably my biggest thing. What about you?
I would definitely say hiring better. I wish I had hired better initially. Like my first employee was like a drug addict jerk who like ran me through the mud, treated me like crap, and would like bug me every other week. Hey, dude, you should pay me another dollar. Hey, dude, you should pay me another dollar, and would like yell at me. Like,
Really?
but I put up with it because I was like, I didn't know what I was doing. I was like 19. I'm like, I think this is normal. I don't know. I never managed before. I don't know. I was just trying to make money. I didn't think it'd be, you know, I didn't even know what it could be. I had zero idea. But no, hiring better, building a better team this year too, I think would have been a lot more beneficial if I hired some more A players. Um, I think the return that I could have seen from that is more profit and more customers that I could have saved and
Yeah.
maybe made better improvements on my business.
Yeah. I think what you're going through is normal. So like, I mean, even to
Yeah.
like restart, like we don't know what we don't know. So like when we're first starting our business, it's like, oh, this is normal. Like you got employees that don't show up a lot. And it's like, but that's not normal. And we don't know that yet. And so that's it just comes with the reps. Once you get your like 10 or 15 or 20th employee, you're gonna be able to identify that. But yeah, I would say definitely like creating that really good team is imperative. There's no way that Larissa, the general manager of the location that's going to do 900,000 this year, and I, the regional manager, step away for 2.5 to almost 3 weeks in the business and it still run. Like we pulled in, I think like $50,000 while we were gone and operations still ran for the month, for those 2.5 weeks while we were gone. So that wouldn't happen without a good team and without those A players that we're talking about because we've gone on vacations before and things fell apart. And it was mainly due to not having the right people. We had the right systems. We just didn't have the right people in doing the systems. Yeah.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah, and that's a good test in the business too, is if you could walk away for a certain period of time and see if things break. If things break, you gotta get back to work.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So actually to ask about the 2.5 months or sorry, 2.5 weeks being gone, who managed it? Do you have like a manager that managed the location?
In what aspect of when you say manage? Like what
Like
part?
manage the team, do the routes, like who did all this?
So the who managed, I'm going to say managed the teams, who basically just made sure that they got out on the routes okay, was our general manager from the Salina location, which was Brett. So he kind of floated over and just made sure everybody was good, got him out for the day. Larissa pre-dispatched for 2.5 weeks the routes and stuff. So she just dispatched, and then Brett would have to maybe tweak a little bit, like if somebody called off or was sick or something, he would just have to like move their um, jobs around very slightly. But
Mhm.
they were mainly all set. Just a couple of minor tweaks on that. And then on the office side, obviously Elizabeth was there, still processing yellow slips, still adding them to their schedule. So if there's a complaint or something like that, like it's still getting done. Um, Estimates stopped on Aubrey because we don't really have another team member that can do estimates. That's the only thing that you know, um now would that what we did be able to be sustainable for like 3 months? No, because then there wouldn't be any like estimates getting done. Over the phone estimates would get done, but not like landscape estimates. And so, when I got back, that's what we're really focusing on now is like, all right, we went through all of our landscape quotes and estimates that accepted. Now we're pretty much dry out on that. So we're sending out upsells, getting them on the schedule, and then like now we're back to sales mode. So
Interesting.
yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. I wanna try that too. Like, maybe next year once we get a little bigger. Step away
Yeah.
for, like, a week, see what happens.
Yeah, yeah, and, like, you're I mean, in the stage where, I mean, you've got 2 or 3 trucks going, so, like, you could probably do it for a day, maybe a week next year and just test it. 2 to 3 weeks might be a little bit of a stretch depending on, like, how well the admin side is kinda set up, but, because I know you do the call center and stuff, but, yeah, I think you can definitely probably take a week, you know? You may still have to dispatch, whether you do that, like, before you leave or like when I was still when I took we took a trip to Mexico, I think like last year or something, and I was still running P for P every day. But I worked for like 15 minutes a day on my vacation. So like I was still on vacation, but like I just ran P for P. It took me like 15 minutes, but that gave me a good temperature check of like, okay, who was here that day, what routes got done, and so like I had a pulse on what was going on, you know. So
Cool.
yeah. All right, we got a couple more questions here. So I'll let you read this one.
Alright, I tried to do weed control for one property, and every time I got rid of one weed, another problem showed up, and it got really frustrating. Yeah, weeds are always gonna pop up. I mean, if you're just spraying weed control, you're not, like, preventing it from coming back. You're just killing the weeds that are there currently. You need to use a product called pre-emergent in the fall, uh, late winter, early spring to kinda help prevent that. Um, so you're always gonna have weeds popping up, though, at least from what I found.
Yeah. If that's what you're referring to easy, like, um, unless you were talking about like a fungicide or something like that, but if so, just clarify, I guess, what that problem is. We can help you sort through that. All right, Blake said, "Hello, Mr. Kelly. My name is Blake, and I am 13 years old, lawn care fanatic. I have had my business for just about a year now, and I have 15 recurring customers as of now. Thanks for the inspiration. Great job, Blake. You are crushing it, man. You're doing it's probably about 13, 12, 13 when I started. I had about actually you have more you had more than me. You had about double. I think I had like seven customers at that age. But
Dude, crushing it, 15 customers is pretty good.
yeah, especially at
Awesome, man.
13.
Yeah, I know. That's cool.
That's really cool. Keep up the good work, Blake.
When do you call yourself a business or a company? I have heard that it has 2 separate meanings. I don't what do you think, Will? I don't think there's 2 different meanings. I guess it's just 2 words for the same thing.
Yeah, I think it depends on like who you're talking to. So there and that's it's like some people call a profit and loss statement a profit and loss statement. Some people call that an income an expense sheet. Like there's different names for different things, but they basically mean the same. Um,
Yeah.
my personal experience, to me, like a business, probably an LLC, and then when you become an S corporation, that's where it kind of transitions from like kind of like a smaller business to like more of a company, because like you need to pay yourself as a W-2 employee and not just as a business owner. That's if you're asking me, and it's not a correct answer, and it's not really like there's no cleared line either, right? But most of the time that's what they're ideally both the same. A business and a company is the same, but a business is more like kind of small business, like either DBA or LLC. More so LLC, because a DBA is just a name. So LLC, and then a company would be like an S corporation, or something. Once you scale it up larger. But yeah, good question. All right, that's all our questions at the moment. Um,
Okay.
so how have things been going for you?
It's hot. It's really
so,
hot.
so you were out. What were you doing today? Mowing or weed control?
Weed control.
Yeah. Okay.
I was doing, bed maintenance, and I was also doing weed control. I'm tired. I probably look tired, but work 6 days this week, it's hot. It's not cool.
Yeah.
It's not, uh, nice outside. So I
So
think this Monday was the hottest day we've had this entire year here in North Texas.
yeah.
It got up to like I think 106, 107 as a
So
high.
so why is that? Are you scheduling jobs 6 days a week? Is it because somebody didn't come in this week? Is it because you're understaffed or you're overbooked?
Um, Not understaffed. I'm just about at capacity, but whenever someone does call out once or twice in a week, it definitely puts us a little behind. One of my employees had an accident over the weekend, and he was out for 2 days. So I asked him to come in on the Saturday, um, and he came in. I came in as well because I was like, I gotta be there. I'm not just gonna make this guy come in on Saturday, and I'm not gonna be there. So I was like, if I'm gonna come in, I might as well get some work done too. So just took some stuff from our waiting list and put it on my route and got it done.
Yeah. There you go. It's good stuff, man.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
dude. So, by the way, this guy freaking crushed it uh today and yesterday. He made 50 bucks an hour on P for P yesterday.
Whoa. What
I've
was he
never seen that.
doing? Mowing or landscaping?
It was a mix. It was landscaping and then also a mow or a couple mows. It was four, but they're on the same street. And he did a landscape job and he like crushed the time. Crushed it on everything. I
Yeah.
think he was like 180% efficient.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
What I would say from my experience is when it's that high, you may just want to double check that landscape job.
Yeah, I know. I don't have to worry about that. This is the guy.
Oh,
He knows what I'm talking about.
this is the right hand man. Okay, okay,
This is
okay,
the right-hand man. Yeah, he doesn't do that.
okay. Perfect.
He doesn't get yellow slips. So,
Yeah. All right. Then you're good. You're good. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Because trust me, I think the same thing. I'm like, "Dang, like, I can't do that." But, like, I'll look at the jobs, like, the next week, and it's like, it's solid. There's no
Yeah.
problems.
That's awesome, man. That's really cool. Yeah, dude. A lot of our guys. Are you doing 40% right now?
Yeah, I'm doing 40% until next month.
It's I as stressful as it might be, like financially on the business sometimes. I think it's the right thing to do. I mean, like you said, it's 105 degrees out. Like, dude, it's miserable. Nobody
Yeah.
wants to be out here right now, and so you're better off paying them $3 to $4 more per hour or whatever that is because you're giving them that 7% boost than having them be like, hey man, I can't do this anymore, leave, and then you got to find somebody else, train them when it's 105 degrees. Like, it's horrible,
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah. It's super hard to get someone on in the summer.
yeah, and then their body's not conditioned to it. They're basically going to work half days the first week. Like, it's so, like I said, it's a must, like, for sure. That's why we do the 40% in June, July, August, because it's just so hot. So
Yeah. So on September 1st, you're going back up to 33%?
yeah, which I'm excited about because I'm like, all right, now how do I front load all these landscape jobs in September? Because the
Yeah.
labor revenue is coming down to 33%, which is normal. That's what it is, one third of the revenue. And then
Right.
yeah. So
I'm excited too. Well, I guess my question is, it's still gonna be hot in September to like mid-September. You're not gonna like push it because it's still gonna be like 90 degrees every day, probably till mid-September.
it is, however, the sun is coming up a little bit later.
Yeah.
And it is a little cooler in the mornings, like, not by much, but I looked at the temperatures next week. I think the highs are like 96, 97, which is still hot. Trust me. I know, but it's been in the hundreds. So, like, that 5-degree difference helps. Plus, in the morning, with the sun coming up just a little bit later, it causes more shade on the lawn. So they get that more like cool, shady breeze with it being 3 to 4 temperatures a little cooler. Instead of it being like 78 in the morning, it's more like 75. So those 3-degree different, and then the longer shade.
Huh.
It's not a lot, but yeah, dude, all of our guys are literally done by noon every day.
Yeah, yeah. That's what's crazy to me because it's the same thing with me.
Yeah.
Sometimes even earlier, and I'm like, "Holy cow, these guys are crushing it."
That they're doing it right. They're coming in early, they're rolling out, and they're getting on that first property by 7 a.m. And that's what I tell them. Like, if you guys aren't pulling that mower string by 7 a.m., you're doing something wrong. You're,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know?
Dude, I'll have guys that'll leave at, like, 6:20, and, like, I usually get there around, like, 6:15, 6:20, and they'll be leaving before I even, like I'm parked at the shop, and I'm like, "Dang, these guys are, like, they want it, they're doing it." It's pretty
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah. And that's the best like culture and mentality. And they're like, dude, they're done by noon. Like it's still hot at noon, but it's miserable at 3 or 4. Like it's miserable. And
Is.
so dude, I always feel so bad when I'm driving down the street after I like showered and I'm like, my day's done. And like, I'm like running to the grocery store and then I see these guys out like pushing a mower at like 3:30 in the afternoon. I'm like, dude, I feel for you, brother. I'm like, I've been there, done that. I'm sorry that you got to do that right now.
Yeah, I know. Dude, and people do it for, like, a living too, like, construction workers too. I'll see them working till, like, 6, 7, 8 o'clock every day,
Yeah. Yeah. It's crazy.
and they're not even getting paid that much.
Yeah. Yeah. It's wild. It's very
Yeah, it's
wild.
terrible.
All right. We got a couple more questions here. We already went through that one. I think we left off with you.
I used Scott's Weed Be Gone here in Ontario, but it doesn't kill everything, but thanks for the info. Scott's Weed Be Gone. Isn't that, like, in the bag, or is that
Yeah.
a spray? It's in the bag, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Granular form. That
Mm,
that to be honest, man, that's probably the problem there. Just being honest. So like Caleb and I, like we use commercial grade products. Ewing is a really good source. There's site ones all over the country. If you have a site one near your house, I would recommend going to there. So take a picture of a few weeds that you're having problems with that you can't seem to kill, and then just go to site one and show them the picture and be like, "Look, I'm trying to kill this guy right here. What do I need?" And they'll be able to help you out and,
mm,
and get you some like better products than just like homeowner grade. Let's go,
yeah.
Scott.
And one tip from me, if you can try to, like, get pretty nice with the workers there, like I am, you can get the numbers for, like, higher up people that are, like, wizards in weed control, like, they know literally everything. Like, there's a guy, what's his name? Mike Sheehan or something?
Yep.
Something like that. He's a wizard. I got this guy named Jim Allen at Site One, freaking wizard. He can answer anything. Try to get in contact with someone like that, and then get an app called Plant In. It's an app called Plant In, and you could take pictures of weeds, and it'll tell you the name of that weed. So instead of having to go up there each and every time, you could just call them and be like, "Hey, how do I treat this weed?"
Do you have to pay for that app?
No, it's free.
What is it called? Plant in?
I think it's called Plant In. If I got that wrong, I'm sorry. No, it's called Picture This.
Oh,
Sorry.
okay. Yeah, yeah. That's the one I got. I was like, oh snap, there's a new one.
Picture This is actually it's pretty good, and it's free if you click the right buttons.
Yeah,
Don't sign up for the subscription scam.
it's awesome. All right, Sunday. I think this is Gabriel. Are y'all switching to biweekly mid-October or starting November? Also, when do you start winter services? So, October 15th is when we shift over to biweekly. Yeah, October 15th. Um, and then we shift to winter services November 15th. That's when the November 15th is when the mowing season ends for us. That's when things are basically dormant. Anything to
Yep,
add to that
same
one?
for me. It's the same for me, pretty much. Working past 3 p.m. in the beginning days were something. Yeah, yeah. So when I started in my first year, I was working till like 6, 7, 8 o'clock. There'd be times where I'd be working till like nighttime in the summer. Like it was the sun would start going down, and I'm like, I feel bad. It's this dark, and I couldn't even see too. And I was like running through it.
Yeah,
Fun times.
absolutely. All right. Easy said, yeah, I figured that was it. Thanks. I feel like you have to really get into that kind of knowledge. I will look into it when I am really ready for it. Yeah, it's not it's some people can make it complicated, but if you keep things simple, um it will definitely help. Like, you could make it very complicated, but if you get with somebody in your area that's doing it and just figure out like what chemicals they're doing, what's the timing, and then like depending on if it's a granular program or like a liquid program. And if you're just getting started, just stay with the granular program. Like, you might have to like backpack spray weeds with liquid. That's fine. Like, you're not going to use a lot of liquid that way. But yeah, just a push spreader will go a long way. You can fertilize with that. You can do pre-emergence with that. You can do fungicides with that. You can do winterizer with that. Like, a push spreader can do everything. And so, that's like the simplest way. But yeah, just try to keep it simple.
Yeah.
So
Yep, yep. Get in contact with your local Site One or E-Wing people. They will give you a plan and give you the products that you need. That's their job.
yeah, absolutely. So what do you got in the works here, Caleb, as we transition into Q4? Like,
Mm,
what do you got?
yep.
What you got coming up?
Switching to Copilot and really setting up my AI system a little better. I've got Good Call now, which, by the way, for the viewers, it's a AI call assistant where if a customer calls in, it's not a person, it's a like a AI robot type of thing, and it can answer questions. Like, it can answer questions pretty well, even questions that you haven't programmed it to answer, it can answer some of those, and it could basically, like, take their information, or you can have it send a text to your customer, for, like, an estimate. So it's pretty cool. I think, honestly, most people should use that. Um, I think it's pretty awesome, but I haven't, like, fully 100% integrated it, for every hour of the day. I still have it, to where the office or the call center takes the calls during, business hours.
So
Tell me, so
why Copilot? Why
why
you
did I switch to Copilot?
Yeah.
I believe in it. I believe it'll be better in the future. I don't think it's where it should be now, but I think it will be better. And I figured I'd start working on a CRM that I really believe in, because I feel like, I mean, I don't even know if I should say it, but I mean, I use SA right now, and it's Service Autopilot, by the way. Um, it's got good features. I love some of the features, but I don't love the fact that they don't implement new features. They haven't changed their software in like 5 years. That's concerning, because like, I believe in technology. I love technology. Technology is what will take your business from, here to here. And if my current software doesn't want to improve, I mean, I'm going to go somewhere else, right?
Yeah.
So I believe Copilot will improve and change. What are your thoughts?
Absolutely. I agree. Yeah, there's definitely still some bugs in it. I mean, we use it at both of our locations. So we know firsthand there are some bit of bumps and bruises, but all in all, I mean, I believe in the long-term vision of it. There's a couple of unique features on there that, although it does create some headaches, it saves me a lot of time. Like, for one simple thing is, when you send an estimate, you can actually require them to add a card on file before they can click
Mm,
accept. So like, when they
yeah,
click accept, it like immediately prompts them to add a card. Service Autopilot doesn't have that. So like, a customer
yeah,
can actually click accept, and then they're like, "Yeah, I'm getting my job done." But it's like, "Well, hold on, we require a card on file to service you." So now I have to call them, and then they don't answer the phone. I leave them a voicemail, and then it's just this endless like tagging of phone back and forth. So
yeah,
it's
yeah,
just so, and like that's all admin waste. So like, Copilot and that feature, amazing. The upsell features on it, amazing. Like, before anybody spends any money on marketing, literally upsell your existing customers. Um, it's just simple. Send them a
yeah,
text. I like how the texting feature is also included in Copilot. So, I mean, and then Service Autopilot, man, they charge you for every additional thing. When
yeah,
you like pay for the enterprise level at Copilot, it's all included. So
yeah. Oh yeah, Service Autopilot, they charge you for everything. They even charge you for like certain. route optimization. If you want to like optimize a route for like a different like service or whatever, it's like 15 cents. The optimization, it's ridiculous. Like it's like they charge you for every little thing. Also Clearant, by the way, raises their rates constantly, so it's more expensive now. And they don't even tell you, which is cool. So
Interesting.
yeah.
Very interesting.
No, but Copilot's awesome. I haven't fully done moved over to it yet. I'm planning on doing it by the end of next month. I love the client portal, like you were saying. I love um how easy it is for customers to use. Easier than Service Autopilot. You don't have to like create an account and put in a password and do this little security key. Like that's all. Why do we need that? Like just it should be easy.
Yeah.
Like I talked to Sam like a month or two ago, and he's like, dude, you need to make it as easy as possible for your customers to buy from you. And that's the problem with Service Autopilot is it doesn't really make it super easy
Yeah.
for your customers to buy from you, right? Um, I also love the texting too. That was like the main draw as well because Service Autopilot destroyed it. Like now you have to like send a message separately to you have to email them a message basically saying, "Hey, do you consent to being texted marketing?" It's like nobody's going to click yes to that. Because if they don't click yes, you can't text them. It won't let you. I don't click that. Whenever I sign up for something, it says, "Do you want to be texted so I can send you marketing?" No, I don't want you to send me anything.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Right? So it completely destroyed that, which was a great feature. So
Yeah. Yeah, the last thing that comes to mind too on that would be on Service Autopilot, they don't allow you to add surcharges to the invoices. And so we had to manually create a line item that says processing fees for credit cards because we require them for everybody. And every time we quoted somebody for mowing or weed control or landscaping, we had to add another line item that said processing fees and then do the math and figure it out. And it was like such an addition, like it's so much more admin time to where on Copilot, there's literally a little button that says, "Do you want to pass the fees off to the customer?" You click yes, it does it for everything. It's amazing.
yeah, it's so simple.
Yeah. So
Yeah, there's definitely pros and cons to both. Definitely, Service Autopilot's more stable, and it could be better for certain businesses right now. But Copilot's improving. Yes, they have bugs, but they're actually improving. Like Service Autopilot has issues and features that they should have added years ago that people have been talking about for years, and they have not done. Like you have to like manually add sales tax to each account that you or lead that you create. I don't know if you do that with Copilot too, but
no, you don't have
it
to do
gets
that.
missed. But it gets missed. I've missed it before where we did a project and the call center didn't add the sales tax to the account, and then we lost like $30.
Yeah.
Like I can't go back to the customer and be like, "Hey, here's the $30." Like that's weird.
Yeah.
You know
Yeah.
what
I
I
know.
mean?
Yep. I know
And
exactly.
I brought it up to them too, and nothing. It's been like 6, 7 months. Nothing.
Yeah.
It's like, okay.
Yeah. It's crazy. And then the last thing that comes to mind is you can do a bulk price increase for services on Copilot, and it's super simple, dude. Like you literally just, I think like I was looking into it a little bit because I'm like, okay, well, what happens when we go from growth mode to profit mode, where it's like, okay, we charge 70 an hour, but now we want to charge 80 an hour at a new location. It's like you literally get all those customers or the services or whatever, and it's like it's really simple. It's like 3 clicks, and then everybody's price it gets increased by however many percentage or whatever.
Does it adjust are you able to adjust budgeted hours through that or no?
So you know what? This is a really good question. I'm glad that you brought this up because when I did that podcast with Corey, he brought this up. Why would you want to change budgeted hours? The budget hours should never change. It should always stay the same. If that job takes 30 minutes, it should always be zero point 0.5. The only thing you're wanting to change is the per hour rate, right?
Mhm.
Because he was telling me they like had to go in and change all the budget or like that he like changed the budget hours on them. And I'm like, I didn't dig in on it, but in my head I was like, wait, why? Why are we changing the budget hours? The budget hours should never change. If it's 1 hour to trim the bushes, it's always 1 hour. The only thing that changes is, oh, this time I'm charging 70 an hour because I'm trying to grow the company, and then this time I'm charging 90 an hour because I'm in profit mode. You know?
So maybe my question should have been like, can you adjust the hourly rate so that
Yeah, yeah,
because like if I'm just trying to wonder like how you would do that
yeah.
properly.
It's just the hourly rate, and I think I'm fairly confident. I haven't done it, but when I looked at it, it was like really simple. I was like, oh snap, okay, so I just go to this service and then I change it, and it like should change it for everybody. I don't know.
Hmm.
I'm fairly confident it's really easy because Mike is very pro changing pricing to like increase, and I'm sure he doesn't want it for his locations to like go in each individual service on each individual customer and like have to change it.
Right.
It's just a mass
Yeah,
thing. Yeah, it's nice, dude. I was like, wow, this is crazy. So,
that's cool, man.
but
Well, what has been like the best thing about Copilot? I know we talked about Client Portal, but what's the best thing and what's the worst thing about Copilot, you would say so far?
I mean, I can just tell you right off the bat, the worst thing is the bugs and the instability. There are times where when we were gone for 2.5 weeks, it was out for 40 minutes. Like our crews were sitting at our conference table, like just chatting it up, waiting for it to come back on. They were like, all right, if it doesn't come up by 8 o'clock, we're going home. And it luckily,
Mm,
luckily it came up at 7:40.
was that was on a Monday, right?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. I was on the Facebook group chat and people were like they were mad.
Yeah.
Like there was like 50 posts saying, "Why am I paying for this? You need to give me my money back." People were upset.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. So definitely just the bugs. Um, yeah, just it's sometimes you just can't rely on it 100%. You just sometimes have to double check that thing got added to the schedule because sometimes it doesn't. Things like that. And then I'd say the best things would be just those two or three that I already said. Like it passes on the surcharges, requires prompts them to put the card on file immediately when they accept.
Yeah.
Texting. I mean, we've made so much money by upselling through texts than through email. You get 3 times the amount of response, guaranteed, guaranteed. Because like we were booking about 60 estimates on 3,000 leads. Now we book like 150 to 180 through text, and they're the same leads. Like, so you get 3 times the amount of return. So you know, even if somebody's watching this and is on Service Autopilot, and it's $50 to pay for the service or for the texting feature, it's probably worth it. Just do it. Even if you got to pay $50, you will make that money back if you're doing upsells every month and have that volume. Like if you only have like not a lot of people in the database, probably doesn't make sense. But if you have a lot of leads, like over probably 1,500 leads, it would make sense for sure.
Yeah. I remember when I did it back in May, I did like a text blast. I never did it before, but I got like over 150 responses from the text, like people wanting a quote. I got so much work. I
Yeah,
was booked out for weeks.
yeah, yeah, and just make it
It
personalized. Like
works.
try to make it not so spammy. Like
Yeah.
like, hey, my name's Caleb. Just checking in this week. Wanted to see if you need your bushes trimmed up front. That's it.
Yeah.
Instead of like, hey, do you need your bushes trimmed? Reply yes in all caps. Don't do that on the text. Just try to make it like you actually sent a text to them. You know, that'll help.
I agree. Do we got any questions?
Yeah, so I think we got a couple questions that came through. It looks like we're at our 60-minute mark, so we'll probably wrap this up here. Let me see. Can you see the questions kind of in the comments or no? Only when
No,
they
I
come
can't.
on the
Not right
screen.
now.
All right. Okay, Sunday. I just need to customize the automation and email templates on Copilot. Yeah. So anybody who is switching over to Copilot, I would say that's probably, I mean, outside of getting your customers' input, that this is step one, getting all the text and the email templates set up. because there's a lot of them. I mean, there's probably like we probably have 100 email templates, and then this is a little helpful tip for anybody. We categorize them, so I can't quite remember exactly what the categorizations are, but it'll say like if it's reference to billing, we put billing in front, and then we like put the title. And then if it's like scheduling, like, hey, we got to tell the customer that we're going to be there in 24 hours, we'll put scheduling in front of it. So that way, when you have like 100 different emails, they're at least categorized. So that way you can go to the category and find them.
That's smart. I'll use that.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's like billing, scheduling. I don't know. Some other ones.
Yeah,
There's like
I
5
get it.
categories. I
Oh,
guess this one's
that's pretty.
directed to me because you used my name. Said, "Well, I want to implement it in 2025, but how much backlash do you think I'll get if I add a surcharge for card fee if I send out an update email?" I don't think you'll get that much backlash. I mean, out of 100 customers, you might have 2 or 3 that are upset, but like you're not tailoring to the 1 or 2%. What you're tailoring your business towards is the 98% that don't care, right? And you're gonna make so much money, even if 5 of them leave. Like you'll make that money back by doing the surcharge on the other ones. Highly recommend. Dude, don't wait till 2025. Do it next week, man. Do it on Monday. Send the email out right now on Monday. Put the surcharges on them. Like it's worth it. Every month we save $15,000. 1 5. Now, granted, we're a little bit of a bigger business, but 15 grand in surcharges
Every month?
go into our pocket. Yeah.
15,000? Or you mean 1,500?
I'm sorry. No, a year. Sorry,
Oh, okay. I was like, dang.
sorry. I have my date. Yeah, a year. 15,000 per year. That's 2 trucks, man. That's
Yeah.
that's a few thousand flyers, like that you can multiply. So
Well, let's go back to that actually real quick. I actually wanted to ask you, so why wouldn't you just I'm playing like devil's advocate here. Why wouldn't you just want to raise your price? Maybe like by $4 or $5. Um, and not charging the surcharge because people get kind of turned off by that. Especially in the sales process, if you're like, oh yeah, we had tax and we also had a 3% surcharge on top of that.
so we don't tell them that in the conversation over the phone. Well, actually we do. We say like $35 plus taxes and fees. Half of them aren't even going to ask what the fees are.
Mm,
Half of them, more than half. They're just you'll get 10% of people that are like, well, how much are the fees and how much is sales tax, right? And they'll kind of start digging a little bit. But I would ask you this question: what sounds more appealing to you if you're trying to get mowing? Hey, it's going to be $38 plus taxes and fees. So ingrained, I'm anchoring your brain at $38. Like, oh, okay, 38, not bad, not bad. It's not 40. 38 is pretty good. But if I raise my prices to cover that surcharge, that might be $1.50 or $2. Now I'm saying, hey, it's going to be $40 plus sales tax and no fees. And you're like, ooh, $40. That's a whole 2 dubs. 38 sounds better, for majority of people that aren't going to sit there and nitpick the fees, right? And then the customers that are a little bit about it, it's like, look, we do this. It's a convenience fee. It's so that way you don't have to sit there and write us a check every week, right? Like it actually helps you. It saves you time, so you're not having to sit there and worry about logging into your portal to pay us. It's like it's just on auto charge.
yeah,
Is you get 5 minutes, 10 minutes back in your day to spend it with your kids or whatever, and you know most people are worth or are good with paying that additional
yeah,
fee. But
fair. I think that's fair. I think it just depends on you. Um, you
yeah,
kind of convinced me there with that one though. I'm not gonna lie to you
if you're
because
if
it
you're yeah, if you're focusing on the bottom of the barrel customers, they're going to worry about the fees, right?
right, right,
Like
yeah,
if you're trying to get the low hanging fruit and the cheap customer, man, they're going to nitpick you about 50 cents. The right customer, which is majority of the middle class, those B customers and the A customers, those are the ones you want. They're not going to bat an eye for a buck. $1.50 on a charge, you know. So,
Yeah, it's fair.
all right, this one's you.
All right. Easy's lawn and snow service. What height do you mow lawns at? Well, I mean, you said you're in Ontario, so it's probably going to be different based on the type of grass that you're mowing. Also, the time of year definitely plays into it. Right now, I'm mowing at 3 inches. It's super hot. You don't want to cut super low. It can stress out the lawn. When it's cooler, like fall, winter time, for us, you can go down to like 2.5, 2 inches. Kind of just depends.
Yeah, absolutely. Good stuff. He said, "Is it okay if you mow at 5 or 6?" I don't
Yeah,
know. If that's
yeah,
inches, that's pretty high.
that's pretty tall. Yeah,
Unless
some mad customers over here.
unless you're mowing like pastures or something like that, maybe. But
Yeah, yeah.
residential lawns typically are lower than that. But that's it, man. That's all the questions. This was a good live Q&A. For anybody that doesn't know, we do this every month on the second Saturday of the month. Okay, sorry we didn't do it last or this month because I was away. But so the next one is in what, 3 weeks? So we'll be doing this again in 3 weeks, second week of September. Bring all
On the
of your
14th.
questions and you'll be able to get them answered. Caleb, thanks for jumping on. I know you had a busy morning this weekend. Do you have
Mm.
anything for the people?
Yeah, just keep grinding. I say it every time. We're almost there. Winter's almost here, just a couple months. So keep grinding, keep pushing.
Absolutely. And for everybody that's out there, I mean, granted, we're down here in Texas, so your climate might be a little bit different, but 2, 3 more weeks, man, those temperatures are coming down.
Yeah,
It's
you
here.
got it.
It's right around the corner. Finish strong, and we'll see you guys in the next month.
Yeah. Thanks, Will, for having me on. It was fun.
Absolutely. And thanks for everybody that's watching and spending your Saturday with us. We'll see you next time.
Peace.